Tonight on Cronkite News, ASU looks to get back in the win column as they prepare to face Cal in Berkeley.
Plus, Sun Devil volleyball continues to celebrate a clean start to the season and 50 years of excellence on the court.
And migrant encounters continue to surge, putting a strain on resources here in Arizona. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Jeff Hinkle.
And I'm Matt Venezia. Thank you for joining us.
The Cardinals are flying high after a win over the Cowboys in Week 3, but the focus of building a team-first, you-second culture hasn't changed.
Jeff, that's exactly right. And Cronkite News reporter Ryan Bunnell has the story from Tempe.
I'm here at the Arizona Cardinals training facility where the vibe has changed ever since the 2023 season kicked off. The Redbirds have a win under their belt, a quarterback who just recorded his first win in his career as a starter, and a group of athletes that are buying into the culture that first-year head coach Jonathan Gannon is building.
Love how guys play for one another and are excited about each other's success, because I think that's what is winning. That's what winning culture is about. And I think JG and the whole coaching staff have preached team first. You second.
No different went from the coaches to the players to the staff to the doctors to, the chefs in the kitchen. Like, hey, this is what we want. This is what's expected. This is your role. And you have to go out and do a good job in your role. And when it's not up to par for what you think is up to par, we have to adjust and correct it and get better. So, but that starts with me first. And I learned a lot from these last 3 games. That last game, I told them when we had a team meeting today, like, here's the mistakes I made. Here's how I got to correct it.
Gannon and his guys will likely play the role of underdog for the majority of the season. Being projected just 3.5 wins by about every major sports book out there, the Cardinals are already a quarter of the way there. In Tempe, Ryan Bunnell, Cronkite News.
Yesterday, the D-backs faced the Yankees in a much-needed win for their playoff hopes. It's the bottom of the 8th. Rookie All-Star Corbin Carroll trying to keep his team alive with an RBI single to left, taking a 4-3 lead. But the Yankees were right on their tail. Kevin Ginkel walks Oswald Peraza with the bases loaded, making it a 4-all ball game. Estevan Florial hits a sac fly to left. Arizona couldn't get the throw in time, bringing Austin Wells home for the lead. Then Everson Pereira finds the gap as Peraza makes it home. The D-backs couldn't hang on, losing this one 6-4. But don't lose hope in the Snakes just yet. They still must face the White Sox in Chicago and the Houston Astros at home this weekend.
ASU football nearly shocked the world Saturday night against a possible national championship contender. One area of the team's game that was a key piece to that we got to examine at practice this morning. Let's go learn more. Sun Devil football's 28-point losing effort against the nation's 5th-ranked USC Trojans was by far its most complete effort on the offensive side of the ball. Yet Coach Dillingham is not satisfied.
I don't want to use the word success. The offense's ability to be better, not to be confused with good. We were not good. We were better. I hope that continues. And I hope we continue to get better. But I would not rule that as success.
Inconsistencies at the quarterback position based solely on the health of that position group remain an issue for ASU. However, the team should have Trenton Bourguet back against Cal this weekend. Bourguet has noticed more urgency in practice this week, coming off of a near ASU upset victory.
There was a lot of missed opportunities for explosives and touchdowns that are, we're 1 block away or one half second away of blocking. So it just stinks to know that there's so much more to put out on the field. And I think that's also just growth to see that, we can be so much better. And, playing against the 5th team in the country, we can really improve on that.
Kenny Dillingham taking over the offensive play calling duties resulted in 353 total yards and 3 touchdowns. The switch-up has been welcomed by the players and something that excites this group ahead of another Pac-12 matchup.
More offensively based, this last couple weeks or so. Usually he used to be split, but really you just see the energy and passion he has. Him and Coach Baldwin are doing a great job of making sure the quarterbacks are understanding the plays, their reads. So to have both of them in the meetings and have them both on the field, it's been a super awesome blessing to have.
Kenny Dillingham calling plays. It looked pretty good. What do you think? Do you leave him out there to continue to do it next week?
Yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So
we'll have to see. But the Sun Devils still looking for their first Pac-12 win this upcoming weekend. A team that got it this past weekend was ASU volleyball, and the team celebrates its 50th anniversary this season. The team had a celebration to celebrate over the weekend, including during their game against Washington on Sunday. The Sun Devils are unbeaten to this point in the season at 14 wins and no losses.
Last Saturday, the team held a special luncheon to mark the anniversary as alumni gathered to remember their time as members of the Sun Devils program. The event had a panel of players from each era. The very first head coach of ASU volleyball, Mary Littlewood, made an appearance. Current head coach J.J. Van Neal, who's in his first season at ASU, recognizes the rich history and tradition of the program.
The whole event was special, really, really humbling. Having to go up and give that speech and seeing, Mary Littlewood, who literally founded the program, also coached basketball here and also coached softball here. She's a legend, but the turnout was unreal. I've been involved in some alumni stuff in the past, and it was far and away the best turnout I've ever seen.
Still to come on Cronkite News, the dance company teaching more than just moves.
That's right. This company also teaches the history behind the dance steps. From hip-hop to much more, we'll meet the people behind this nonprofit bringing dance to the masses.
Fall is finally here, and so are the cooler temps. And this weekend is gonna be beautiful. Your forecast is next.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to see,
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
This is CN to Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN to Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
Welcome back, and speaking of being back, Sun Devil women's basketball is gearing up for the season, and the team just announced its upcoming conference schedule. As we know, the reign of ASU's Pac-12 play is coming to an end, but there's still many matchups to look forward to in the Conference of Champions. Kicking it off, the Sun Devils host state rival Arizona on December 17th. ASU will also host Stanford on January 26th, and the 2022 Pac-12 tournament champs Washington State come to town on February 16th.
Dance and hip-hop culture has a lot of history in Los Angeles, California, but this particular group is doing their part to bring music and moments to life. Cronkite News reporter Michaela Nagel got a chance to feel the beat from our LA bureau.
Hip-hop dance is popular all over the world, and for the first time next year, it'll be included as a sport in the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. In Los Angeles, I found a group in particular that not only shows dance growing as a community, but the culture behind each step. Versatile Dance Company is a nonprofit organization based just outside of Los Angeles in Burbank. For almost 2 decades now, this company has grown exponentially with different artists from all over coming together to form a community. Versatile is a street dance-based group that not only teaches the steps, but also the history.
We're teaching them the history behind hip-hop, house, popping, locking, all the street dance forms. We're teaching them the authentic foundation, but we're also teaching them how to make it their own and be individuals versus just teaching them how to move. We're teaching them how to move and be themselves.
VersaStyle was founded in 2005 by Jackie Lopez and Lee Foad, creating a space for all different ages to come together and share their gift. They hold rehearsals 2 to 3 times a week and have community classes for anyone who's interested in joining their program.
Dance is bigger than dance. Dance is bigger than doing it. Dance is community, it's worldwide, it's family, it's an art form, it's a way of expressing yourself, and it connects you deeply with other people.
VersaStyle has performed on both coasts and even has performed abroad. And over the past 18 years, this organization has built relationships within the community.
At the end of the day, we're just human beings that love to do this thing called dance. But through dance, we really were able to just build a family.
VersaStyle is funded nearly $1 million every year by multiple companies who provide donations. Because of the loyalty and dedication this company has formed and shown what true hip-hop culture is all about. VersaStyle is going on tour this week with their first stop being in Lancaster, Pennsylvania on September 30th at Millersville University. For the next 3 weeks, they'll be traveling all around the country showing off their talent in the art of street dance. In Los Angeles, California, Michaela Nagel, Cronkite News.
Well, back here in the valley, it's still a little warm in the afternoons, but mornings have certainly been beautiful. And as our Sienna Monet tells us, morning temps will soon dip into the 60s.
That's right, Matt, but not quite yet. Tonight, it's going to be about 96 degrees at 8 p.m., and then it's going to start to cool off at about 9 p.m., where it's going to be 93 degrees, and then at 10 p.m., it's going to be 90 degrees. Looking across the state of Arizona, some clouds are going to move on through, especially down in Tucson and Sierra Vista, until about 11:30 p.m. tomorrow. Thanks to those clouds, we're getting that nice, cool weather with 78 degrees in Phoenix, 62 degrees in Sedona, and then 72 degrees down in Tucson. We still haven't escaped those hot temperatures just yet. It's going to be 106 degrees in Phoenix, 89 degrees up in Sedona, and then 103 degrees down in Tucson. Thanks to those clouds coming on through, they're here to stay for this Thursday with a high of 104 degrees and then a low of 78, which is pretty nice. For this weekend, it's going to be 97 degrees on Saturday, and then Sunday, it's going to be a high of 85 degrees. So that's really nice if you want to go out to the Arizona State Fair and check that out. Sunday would be your perfect day. And then looking into next week, we are getting into those 60s, just as Matt said. A low of 64 degrees on Monday. And then Tuesday, we're going to see lows of 66 degrees. So that fall weather is really making its way through in Arizona. Sienna Monet from the Cronkite Weather Center. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Sienna. I'm Kenji Ito, and your Cronkite News Briefing is next. Governor Katie Hobbs and Senate Republicans are butting heads once again. That and more after the break.
Now on Passport.
What are you looking for in your life?
There's an important story that needs to be told.
Is it a sense of your own destiny?
Choose your story.
Try to help create change in some way.
It's a beautiful thing. Not very many people get to see.
Once you come into the neighborhood, you are part of the family.
You can be a good person or a bad person. It's your choice.
Stop complaining and go actually do something.
Now you can stream even more documentaries with Passport on the PBS Video app.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue,
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
This is CN to Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN to Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
Good evening, I'm Kenjito with a look at news from across Arizona and the nation. Governor Katie Hobbs announced that she is withdrawing several of her nominees for state agency director positions. Instead, she will appoint her nominees to positions which do not need confirmation. They will be able to serve in those roles for up to 1 year. Her office accused Senator Jake Hoffman of creating a, quote, political circus meant to delay her nominees. Senator Hoffman heads a committee that has changed how confirmations are conducted. Senator Hoffman was not available for comment today, but we did speak with Senate President Warren Peterson about the governor's move.
It's not like she had to do this. There was no reason for her to act rashly. And there really is no, urgency to do something today. Really where something would happen is if these nominees that she's made stay in place for more than a year without our confirmation, then they would need to be removed.
Hobbs and the Senate are also disputing claims made on social media that Senate Republicans have indicted Hobbs on racketeering charges. The original post by leading report on the platform X gained traction this past weekend before it was deleted. Senate members say no indictment has been filed, adding that they aren't authorized to issue indictments. Today, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly joined a large number of Democrats calling for resignation of Senator Robert Menendez after the New Jersey Democrat was indicted on bribery charges. Senator Kelly is now the 7th Democrat to call on Menendez to step down. Menendez and his wife are accused of using his position to help the Egyptian government, among other things. Senator Menendez has denied the allegations. But today, Senator Kelly issued a statement on the indictment and said, in part, these are serious and alarming allegations of corruption and bribery, and he should resign. Migrant encounters at the southern border surged last month, and for the second month in a row, the Tucson sector of the border saw more immigrants than any other. Cronkite News reporter Alexandria Cullen reports from our Washington bureau.
Experts say there are several possible reasons for the recent surge in migrants at the southern border. All that Diego Javier Peña-Lopez knows is that all of those people need help.
I would say we were close to 50,000 or more folks that we've helped in the last 2 months.
Diego Javier Peña-Lopez is agency director of Casa Elite Shelter, just one of the non-governmental organizations providing aid to the thousands showing up in need. Custom officials say they've encountered more than 230,000 migrants at the southern border in August, 55,000 of whom crossed into the Tucson or Yuma sectors. That is straining the ability of local and federal officials to cope.
Tucson sector is seeing an increasing number of migrants than they have in previous months and years. And so this is obviously going to put a strain on the Border Patrol facilities there just because it's something that they haven't experienced recently.
Yuma County Supervisor Jonathan Lines says it's all that local organizations can do to keep up.
those numbers continued to climb, Tucson Border Patrol and Yuma Border Patrol indicated to us last week that they were going to start sheltered releases, which is another word for street releases, which would stress the already stressed community.
At least one critic of the Biden administration says he does not see these numbers going anywhere but up.
Until the Biden administration decides it's our immigration policy, not the criminal cartel's immigration policy, we're going to keep seeing this happen.
For groups like Casa Elitis, it doesn't matter why migrants are showing up. It's just a matter of what they can do to help those in need. Peña Lopez says they're doing the best they can with the limited resources.
So our challenges of knowing what's going on, who are coming to our door to serve, has changed greatly. But, the main thing has always been for Elitas is like recognizing people for who they are when they come through the door.
Experts predict that the fall months could bring more people through the Tucson sector as the weather cools, but they caution that the trend lines change frequently and without warning. In Washington, Alexandria Cullen, Cronkite News.
Through the first 11 months of the fiscal year 2023, there have been more than 1.8 million immigrant encounters at the southern border, according to Customs and Border Protection.
You guys, the UAW, you saved the automobile industry back in 2008 and before. Made a lot of sacrifices, gave up a lot, and the companies were in trouble. But now they're doing incredibly well. And guess what? You should be doing incredibly well too.
President Biden made history today as the first sitting president to appear on a picket line. President Biden touched down in Michigan this morning to support striking auto workers. He addressed the crowd, expressing support for their cause and saying they deserve wage increases. On Wednesday night, Biden will be arriving to Arizona to honor the late Senator John McCain and to deliver a speech on democracy. The Federal Trade Commission and 17 states filed a long-anticipated antitrust lawsuit against Amazon this morning. The government is alleging the retail tech giant uses monopoly power to maintain high prices and weaken competition. The FTC is asking for a permanent injunction to prohibit Amazon from engaging in its unlawful conduct and pry loose Amazon's monopolistic control. Amazon said in a statement that the FTC lawsuit is wrong on the facts and the law. And the Federal Communications Commission is working to restore net neutrality regulations for major internet service providers. The rules would now label internet service as essential communications, just like traditional telephone services. Providers like AT&T, Verizon, and Comcast would be banned from slowing down access to websites and content from competitors. The providers aren't allowed to speed up service to favored websites. And that's it for the latest across the nation. In the newsroom, I'm Kenji Ito, Cronkite News. Now back to Jeff and Matt.
Thanks, Kenji. And coming up next, this Kansas City Chiefs player had a top 5 selling jersey this past weekend for a specific reason. We'll be back with what caused the huge spike in his sales.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
This is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news,
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
This is CN to Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN to Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
and develop your skills with the latest technology.
Welcome back. Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce is making headlines again this year, but not for what he's doing on the football field, Jeff.
Yeah, on Sunday, Kelce had one of the top 5 selling NFL jerseys after a nearly 400% spike in sales, according to Fanatics websites. The sales spike comes after Taylor Swift was seen sitting in Kelce's box with his mother during Sunday's game. Kelce and Swift are rumored to be dating, but neither one has confirmed or denied the rumors.
Well, Jeff, we'll have to see. Maybe this will be his chance to go riding off into the sunset on his white horse.
Yeah, sounds like a good love story, and it hasn't been a cruel summer for him, so if he plays his cards right, maybe he can make it back to December.
And I have to play my cards right on my fantasy team. Hopefully this doesn't interfere in that. That's it for Cronkite News. Thank you for joining us.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.